Hi, y'all. It's Bridget Kirchhoff with Real Things Living. Today, my guest is the amazing Georges Cordoba. He is an author and a stage 4 melanoma and brain cancer survivor. He has an unbelievable backstory. Can you say hi, Georges?
Yes. Hi. How everybody? And thank you for inviting me, Bridget,
I,
to be in your show.
I unfortunately had to deal with you dealt with, but I like to share stories like this so people can learn and understand and give them some hope too, right? I think as people that have dealt with cancer, either personally or family or friends, it's very scary. But you found a way you're to get through this. So what is that? I want to know, how long ago were you diagnosed with melanoma? I think it was you dealt with
Yeah.
it in years.
Yeah. It was. I was diagnosed in when I was 42. This was in 2002, and basically fought the disease for 10 years, and I had 10 surgeries, many different types of treatments. But on year 7, when the melanoma went to my brain. After the first craniotomy, of the 10 surgeries, I have 4 craniotomies. They actually opened my brain 4 times. And I ended up with uh, additional tumors because I accepted to do radiotherapy for 5 weeks in my head. And all of a sudden, 8 other tumors came up, and they were all basically from melanoma. And so I had 2 gamma knives, and then from there on, they were able to basically eradicate all of them but 3 of them. And that at that time, I was already with 3 craniotomies on me. Um, but at that point, when they came up with a new chemo, form of chemo that actually penetrated the brain. So uh, that's how medicine is. They keep trying stuff. It's trial and error. So they gave me these pills, which, by the way, I mean, this is a very expensive disease. Each of those capsules that I had to take 5 days and then rest 5 days and like that, it was $1,000 per capsule. Imagine
Wow.
it's crazy. But on year 8, after that, actually, it was my first craniotomy, and they gave me this new stuff along with the radiotherapy. Um, I was feeling so bad with this stuff, and I was 7 years with surgery, remission, treatment, recurrence, surgery, remission, treatment, recurrence. Melanoma is very aggressive. It's as aggressive as pancreatic cancer. But I decided on almost year 8, to go natural, to take the holistic health route. And, and definitely a combination of that, I share this in my best-selling book, but a combination of that with my faith, um, this past July, it was my 12 years cancer-free. And, and yes, you can do it. I have a keynote. I do speaking, sharing my story. Obviously, the whole experience made me change my career. I was a CTO, I was an executive in technology, and I decided to go to health and wellness. I'm a person of faith, and I know God gave me a chance to sing the song I was born to sing, which is helping people and giving hope. And that's what I've done for the last 7 years. I started, and then as I was progressing with my holistic coaching, I became a nutritionist. I made it some additional. I added more value for my clients. And last year in September, I became a hypnotherapist as well, rapid transformational therapist with Marisa Pierce, and I added that to my 3-month program. But if people ask me, how did you go about this? I didn't have a coach, but I did. I have a background in athletics. I played Division 1 tennis, NCAA Division 1 here in the States, actually in the same town that I live now in New Mexico, Las Cruces, New Mexico. And I'm originally from Venezuela. and I was in the national junior team for tennis. And we had some great coaches, including some psychologists. And we had a gentleman from Yugoslavia that taught us how to do visualizations. So we could actually, let's say, prevent getting basically lose it when the crowd is against you, or if they call a wrong shot or whatever. Right? My dad used to play Davis Cup, so tennis. So everybody, are you going to be like your dad and this? And when he came to watch me, I was a mess. So I had to really work mentally to not let that bother me. Well, guess what? In the book, I share that my master in tennis, my coach, he he gave me a book after he saw a final that I was playing, the final open in Venezuela. I was winning the whole match, and then I lost at the end with my hero, this guy I always look up to him. And so he invited me. He says, "You lost here. You lost in your mind. You played better. You were ahead. Yeah, and so I want to give you this gift." In my book, I call it the gift of life, because he did say, "This is gonna, when do you go back to school?" I was gonna do my senior year. He goes, "Oh, I go in now in 2 weeks." And so he gave me the book, and he says, "This book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Murphy, is gonna help you with your tennis, but it'll always be with you. It'll help you with your life." And when I got sick and I decided to, especially when I decided to go natural, I started to use those techniques, which is working with your subconscious mind and your mind, affirmations, visualizations. And obviously, in my case, prayer and putting, there's something as a Christian Catholic that I am, uh, it's not to say that you have faith. Show me your faith with your actions. And
Yes.
that's what I did. I took action. It was not going to lie. I wasn't expecting the God to send me a magic wand that I'll be healed. I had to take action, and I worked on many things. So for the audience, I must say that there are 4 areas that are key in prevention, which, by the way, now it is estimated that 1 of 2 men will have cancer in their lifetime, and one of 3 women. This is crazy. Forget COVID. This is a pandemic. But
Yes.
and now you may say, well, why? Why with so much, there's so much technology and advancement? Well, the reason is because we eat fast. We're always in a hurry. We have a lot of anxiety. We're in a noisy society worldwide. And that's really what's happening. And so those 4 areas, which are the 4 areas that I work, I'm holistic coaching. I work, like I say, for the 4 legs of the table. That's a metaphor. One of the legs is your physical self. The other one is your emotional self, then your mental self, and then your spiritual self. If you're missing any of those legs, the table can't stand. So the goal is to clear the clutter in each of those let's say, legs of the table. However, the disease that didn't start, it manifests in the body, but it's usually emotional, lack of spirituality, and really the anxiety and the things that we have in our mind. Because our mind is very powerful. Whatever we say, we visualize, or we think, the body, the mind actually does everything possible to make it happen. So it doesn't know if it's in the past, in the future. It doesn't know if it's true or false. Whatever you manifest enough times, it'll happen, because the healing happens from the inside out. I had to go 80 years, almost 80 years of chemo and all kinds of stuff that they tried on me, because melanoma was fairly new. And it got to a point that I had this faith and this intuition that this stuff was not going to work for me. So I decided to go natural. And even like that, the progression was so strong that it kept coming for a while. But then finally, it stopped. Once I had my last 3, even with the last craniectomy, I didn't take any I asked my oncologist if it was that I say, look, I'm deciding not to go forward anymore with this stuff, but I would appreciate if you continue to do follow-ups on me.
Right.
So, but I know we have a short window here. If anything, I just tell everybody that they can do it. And if there's a fear, because the mind goes to what is familiar, and what is familiar for all of us is to go to an oncologist. There's no other, there's no other option in our minds. And so if most of my clients, they have that fear of doing what I did, only 3 in 7 years decided to stop everything. However, I let them know that there are other alternatives and they can go together. You don't have to quit your chemotherapy. If you have the intuition, you've been doing it 4 years and nothing happens, you just feel bad and
Right.
then you can want to decide it. But I can give you a bold statement. If you do the work, if you put your faith into action, and even if you're not let's say you're not a person of faith, intention every single year in the beginning of the year, many people have an intention. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do this or that. By the time March comes around, many people already gave up. So intention without action becomes an illusion, and you could be in an illusion mode all your life. So if you have the intention, and you're going through cancer, if you want to prevent it, you don't want to be one of this statistics as a man, 1 of 2, and as a woman, 1 of 3. You have to make some changes in your life. If you suspect that your lifestyle is not prime, for example, how many people get a good sleep? That's where the chain reaction starts, for example. Or how many people eat a super heavy meal, very tired at 9 in the evening, and then at 10 they're going to sleep. That is crazy. That is really against our natural cycle of 24 hours. We're supposed to go to sleep to detox and to regenerate. But if you eat a heavy meal, you spend 3 hours of your sleeping, all that energy just to digest.
Digest. Yeah, to digest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love what you're saying. We're on the same page, and I think we're from related somehow because we have a similar, but I mean, the athletic
Yes.
stuff, and we went the holistic, and these weird things that happen. And I think a lot of it, I agree with the emotion aspect and with what you're eating and your environment, that you're around. There's so much chemicals in our world. That's, everybody's different. And I like, I think being curious, you were curious. That
Mhm.
is what helps you find answers because there's not a one solution for everybody. And everybody, that's why you're doing the one-on-one. Obviously, you're offering
Yes.
types of coaching, but everybody's situation is different. And I've always been a believer, you probably too, of the instincts of listening to my body and people. When I was younger, I wanted to eat, sorry, vegetables, but that's my body telling me you need this rather than eating a bunch of dairy. Dairy is bad for me. I learned later, Georges, that I have an issue with casein protein, which was an issue. People don't understand what that is, but I learned through a
Yes.
holistic epidemiologist. I wanted to find out. I asked the questions. I don't want to just pop a pill. I mean, sometimes you need it, but why? There's just weird things that we all are
Yes.
dealing with.
Yes.
And I like how you're and a great example how people can move those obstacles or what do you call it? You have some keynote talks like how to move your mountains, right? Um,
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
we all have that. It's not
Mhm.
necessarily has to be health related. So
Right.
your health is important to be still here, right?
Yes, absolutely. And one thing, I mean, we could be talking for a long time, but I just want to share that, the people that reach out to just improve their health, prevent disease,
Yes.
almost half the nation, half the U.S. has one or two chronic diseases, and we call it healthcare. How do you avoid that? And you don't have to go to crazy diets or go to the gym, and people get all these things in their mind and they don't move forward.
Right.
There are simple things. There are simple things I could tell people, look, you don't have to go to an extreme diet. I'll give you some simple things that you can do now without worrying about what you're eating to start with. First of all, every American in the average chews 6 times before they swallow. And I'm telling you, as a nutritionist, that's not good. You're supposed to be, especially if you eating meat, 32 to 40 times.
Wow.
And then you swallow, because actually our digestion starts in our mouth. Our saliva and enzymes process the food. If you're not chewing enough, you send the stomach, you already disrupted the whole, let's say, assembly line of digestion. The other thing is, and this is something to be aware of, when you're talking about digestion and nutrition, 25% of what you eat, and 75% is who you are when you're eating. Are you in a hurry? Are you stressed out? Did you just have an argument with your boss or an employee? Are you just stressed out from traffic? If you start eating like that, and there's tricks to actually kind of like, you know, make the nervous system believe that you are relaxed. So there's so many things that you can do in terms of prevention. And then if you do have, your audience have issues that, they're even from childhood that are emotional, and there's emotional clutter in there, that stuff, believe it or not, produces cortisol. And
Right.
that cortisol, in time, obviously, if you eat fast, it doesn't matter what kind of food you are producing, the stomach does not know what to do, and everything goes into fat, and there starts the process of not really having good nutrition. The immune system gets weak, and we are the ones that create all these issues on our, and like you said, obviously the environment, depending where we are, there's just so much toxicity outside. But
Sure.
yeah, you and I are very similar. Yes.
I like how you mentioned the word that stood out to me, simple. We need to keep it simple. I'm totally behind that, because we try to complicate, then we get overwhelmed, and we add stress because you're adding so many layers. And that's why I'm totally into this, being prevention, getting your checkups. You don't have, you just want
Right.
to, while you're here, be healthy, live the best life. And I shouldn't say live your
Yes.
life, but I'm guilty, what you mentioned earlier, when my kids were younger, like traveling and doing all, I was snarfing food, and I'm guilty of that.
Mhm.
I think everybody is at some point, but that's a part of it, is the culture.
Yeah.
You got to go,
Well,
go, and I don't believe it. And everybody's now realizing that's not good. And then, like you're talking about, how the mindfulness is going to help you.
absolutely. And one more thing is if you are somebody, even if you're not, if self-employed, but give yourself some time to eat. The average American, again, eats their meal in 10 minutes. If it's lunchtime, they don't take the whole hour to eat and digest. They take the 10 minutes, fast food, and let me go do errands before I have to get back to the office.
Exactly.
In time, the body will send you a bill, a medical bill, to say, look, you know what? You got it. One last thing I want to share with you guys is that when I went natural, I visited a naturopath, and he showed me the importance of having a balanced pH in our body. For your audience, if later on I give you an information, but I can send you an ebook that I wrote. Not This is not my book, but an ebook about, the title is A Balanced pH and Your Health. This guy told me, Dr. Tonsky, he passed away 2 years ago. He was quite, up there in age when I met him. He told me that disease cannot grow in a balanced pH system. And if you have the disease and you make sure that you have a balanced pH, the environment that this disease, whatever chronic disease, but we're talking cancer, it starts disappearing. So they starve to death. You have to maintain a balanced pH. And that's what I teach my clients, to
Okay.
create balanced pH plates. I'm not like, oh, keto or completely vegan, or no, as a nutritionist, a balanced plate that actually ensures that your meal has a balanced pH. And I have a table to show that I give away, where it shows which foods are acidic and which of them are alkaline. So
Right.
you can combine them, have your nice little meal, take your time to eat slow, and I guarantee you, you're going to lose weight, and you're not going to even get a cold if you have a balanced pH.
I love what you're doing and helping. So where could people what, website can they go to?
Well, I I give you some stuff. I don't know if you can share it with
Oh,
my
yeah.
links, but
I'll share it.
the easiest thing is to, if you have LinkedIn, look me up, Georges Cordoba, and just leave me a message, and I'll send you some stuff, and I'll have my Calendly there if you want to have a discovery call, complimentary, and you can go to my website and actually book a session or see what I'm all about. Is the website is www, and I'm going to say the in it's a Latin word, two words. It's qualivita, but I have them together. That means quality of life. So it's QUAL and then ELIVTA, quale and vita with a T. So you put QULE and then VITA. But I think I would appreciate if you can send, I think I gave you the links. If not, I
Well,
can send.
I can put it in the description, the show notes and all that for your LinkedIn and for that site you mentioned. And
Yeah,
so important what we need to hear how people like you have healed. You've gone through that was a major trauma. I would try I really if you think about it,
that's
like
a lot.
you
Yes,
came through the other side of that mountain. Right.
exactly.
That was some serious higher than the
Yeah.
Swiss Alps. It was
It was 10 surgeries. Yeah, 10 surgeries in 10 years. And I don't know how many. I have it in the book, but I think I had over 50 biopsies in 10 years. Yeah.
holy cow. That's
Yeah.
it's just amazing. And I'm very glad that we connected and it's we have such a similar background, meaning just everything, guys. So I'm
Yes.
so glad we connected, Georgia. So I
No,
really
me
appreciate
too. I
it.
appreciate it.